Good afternoon, everybody. In this video, I have two crazy Dagath builds. The Goth horse girl of your nightmares. And she is crazy. I don't feel like I see enough, like, love and, just crazy build ideas for her, so hopefully I'm not, just stealing someone else's, so I'm not seeing anything about it. But I'm just here to tell you about the crazy potential Dagath has, and why I think if you don't have her, you should definitely go out and get her. And if you do have her, you really need to invest into her because she's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go into the builds in a second here. But for the second build, which is the one that gameplay is being shown right now on your screen of, you're gonna need the augment, Spectre, Spectre something. You can get it from New Loca, I want to say. New Loca or Parent Sequence where I got it. I don't know about other syndicates, that's just where I got it. So yeah, if you don't have that, I would go get that. If not, this first build is also really good, so you do not need it for this build to be good. If anything, that build's more my, potential, what kind of crazy thing you can run. But yeah, let's get into talking about the build, and why I think Dagath is freaking crazy. Okay, so hopefully that was enough time to take that build in, because Share Factory on PlayStation won't let me record this voiceover while also having the build on top of the screen, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. Basically, the build is quite simple. You use the augment to make yourself invincible. You'll be invincible for 23 seconds with the setup we're running here, with the prime continuity, and their mind giving us duration for that. And that will make you invincible for 22 seconds, but then your ability is put on cooldown. So that means no crit bonuses and no invincibility, which does make survivability a bit risky, which has been the main issue I've been running into is during that wait time. Because although the augment makes this every time you get a kill, you lose a second on the duration, I don't really feel like I notice it all that much, so either they need to make that 3 seconds or something every time you get a kill, or they need to just make it so that way when the ability is going on, if you get kills while having it going on, the cooldown goes down as well. Or just get rid of the whole cooldown thing and make it so every kill you get, it lasts longer. I feel like both of those would make it crazy OP, possibly, but it also, is how I would make that thing work. But otherwise, the build is really good. As you can see, I completed the whole Metro cell with it. So this is not like a build to scoff at. This definitely has huge potential. I would recommend, because your fourth gives you invincibility, so it could be a great survival method, to survive. But the problem is with this low range, because we're running very low range build setup on that build, that you might end up wanting to put range instead of prime continuity. I'd keep narrow-minded, but I might put stretch on there, and then put Archon shards to increase your strength through that way, or increase your duration through that way. I didn't mean strength. And that could overall help you. If not that, then put a survivability Hemlith on. Now currently on my other build we're running Gloom on there, so we can't run Gloom on this one unless you really like this build and just want to run Gloom on it. Then absolutely go for that. But if you're going to run Gloom on the main build like I am, then I'd recommend probably something like Well of Life, Pillage, or, something along those lines, like any other ability like that. But that's about it for this build, so let's get into the next one. Now this ability actually puts Doom to use. That's something that I wasn't really clicking as much with the other build. Because of the low range, Doom becomes much more of a panic button. Because if you guys do not know why Doom is so crazy, when you apply Doom to an enemy, the amount of damage you do to that enemy is multiplied by whatever your build setup is. I'm pretty sure with the one I have, it's some crazy number, 4 or 5 times. It might be more. I'm not really looking at the stats right now because I'm doing this voiceover and the builds I can't record, as I already mentioned, whatever. But basically, that means that Doom is the main part of her kit for dealing damage, along with her Fortress having crazy damage and also having armor reduction. Basically, when you combine those two, plus Gravewalker increasing your crit damage, you end up with a very good Gunzerker frame, which is why I like Dagath, I think, because I like playing with the guns, but also like, having to use my abilities and whatnot. Plus, having the safe option of, well, your third is up, you have you can become invincible if you go near death. And then you just have to make sure you don't die before that cooldown is done. And that cooldown, I really don't notice that as much, unlike with other builds where I'm constantly having to watch that cooldown, which is probably why I wasn't clicking Doom as much. But Doom is crazy, because also the ultimate does crazy amounts of damage, and Doom also like scales with that. So if you click the 300,000 damage your ultimate does while Doom is applied, you'll do like a million damage to an enemy and you'll probably kill them instantly. So Doom is crazy. So that's why Doom, and that's why I also went back on Helmut to Word Sights, because that spreads Doom. But I found myself being like, I'm not really clicking this ability that much, and survivability felt more like what I should run, which is why I eventually threw Gloom on here. This footage is old, which is why it's not on there, because you really don't need it. If I'm being completely honest, if you run Tenno with with the like health regen one where you switch transference, you know, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, you get it from the quills. But if you run that, then you really don't need to run Gloom. I did it more just because I didn't want to have to worry about that as much. But yeah, basically this is your Gunzerker build. This build is crazy. This is why I like Dagath so much, you know, because she can run super high level content. She obviously isn't great at all missions, you know. Her build really isn't great for defense, although you definitely could make that work. But she isn't like the best for like defense mission. But when it comes to just solo survivability and just being an all-around fun frame to play, I really enjoy Dagath. So I recommend you guys go farm her. She's not that hard to get, and she's incredibly powerful. And I hope these builds help you really get the most out of her. So yeah, that's about it. There is no beginner build. I like to put those in for frames you get early on, but Dagath is a complete endgame frame, so unless you're going to buy her plat, which I do not recommend, well, I guess unless you're just starting, you really want someone strong, but I still wouldn't recommend it really, because you don't really need someone that powerful. But I'm not really going to go into intro build, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going back to bed. Enjoy the gameplay, and at the end, and tell me if you have any guesses what like weapon builds I'll be doing based off that gameplay.
When I be up in your city, pull a show about 50 racks hanging in my waist.